We do join you tonight during a truly historic moment in Israel's history, one that is cause for great celebration. This week, not only has President Donald Trump chosen to withdraw from the disastrous Obama-Iran nuclear deal, but we are here on the eve of the momentous opening of the American embassy in Jerusalem, a move that recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. A move greatly appreciated by the people of Israel, as evidenced on street corners everywhere we went. President Trump's pullout from the Iran deal, although suspected, became a virtual certainty when Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu proved through Israel's intelligence agency Mossad that Iran had been lying to the world when it was continuing uranium enrichment and nuclear development. Iranian documents uncovered by that same intel agency are proof positive that Iran lied. Gee, what a shock. On the day of the withdrawal from the Iran deal, bomb shelters opened up in the Golan Heights, and the Israeli army was on high alert as Israel braced for imminent attack. As we proceeded from Haifa to the Golan Heights, there were no sirens. School buses and taxis continued to run. But that night in Tiberias, we heard the unequivocal sound of rockets. And at breakfast, we found out that indeed there was an Iranian rocket offensive toward Israel from inside Syria. Israel responded with strategic precision, targeting munitions, storage warehouses, logistics, headquarters, and intel systems of Iran within its proxy Syria. Israel does what Israel needs to do. And today, Iranians are actually marching against the United States, protesting President Trump's decision to withdraw from their nuclear deal. Maybe they ought to consider protesting that the $150 billion Obama gave them in cash wasn't used to benefit them, that instead it was used to support both its nuclear development as well as its military budget, which has grown by almost 40%. Now, Obama's Iran deal, make no mistake, destroyed 70 years of bipartisan U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East. His delusional deal abandoned Israel and Egypt, the largest Arab country, and alienated the Sunni Muslims, the moderate Arab states, guaranteeing that they would face a nuclear Iran. Iran, of course, a leading state sponsor of terror, exports dangerous missiles and supports terrorist proxies and militias like Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Taliban. The idea that it seeks a successful nuclear energy program is absurd to even anyone with half a brain. And as Obama turned his back on the slaughter of Christians and ignored his own red line in the Syria sand, he allowed Russia through this vacuum to become a dominant regional player in the Middle East. Donald Trump's withdrawal from that deal was the United States standing shoulder to shoulder with our ally Israel against the rest of the world. It sent a huge signal to Iran and Shia Muslims that we stood with the more moderate Sunnis. And although Great Britain and France had joined the United States earlier in taking out Syrian weapons facility, they chose to stand with Iran against Israel and the United States. But Trump has reassured the world that his word is worth more than any former U.S. presidents like Bill Clinton, George Bush, and Barack Obama, who all promised to move the embassy to Jerusalem but didn't deliver. His word is worth more than any treaty and stronger than any UN resolution. He promised and he delivered. Trump not only sends a message to Iran, but to Russia as well, that the U.S. is back as a dominant regional player after the Obama years. He recognizes a reality that everyone else in the West willingly blinds themselves to, and that is that Jerusalem is the one and only capital of Israel. By Trump putting his imprimatur on what has been history for the last 3,000 years, and that is that Jerusalem has been the capital of one people's country or one kingdom. That people is the Jews, and that country is and was Israel. The empires that tried to destroy Israel and its capital, Jerusalem, are long gone. Yet the Jews still speak the same language and practice the same religion, which is the foundation of our Judeo-Christian nation. Donald Trump sent Iranians, who are the descendants of Persia, a message to reflect on their own history, and that it was the king of Persia, who 1,000 years before Muhammad was even born, that said Jerusalem was the capital of the Jewish people's country. There will be no Ottoman empires or Shia nations that will destroy Jerusalem any longer. Donald Trump recognized history. He, like King Cyrus before him, fulfilled the biblical prophecy of the gods worshipped by Jews, Christians, and yes, Muslims, that Jerusalem is the eternal capital of the Jewish state, and that the Jewish people finally deserve a righteous, free, and sovereign Israel.
All right. Do you remember 1969? I do. Some call it the good old days. I don't. It sucked. Dow Jones was at 800. The average income per year was under $9,000. Something called Woodstock took place. Look at these people. You know they just smelled bad. Like a fish's jockstrap. I don't know if they wore them, but they could. What also stunk fashion. People actually wore this stuff outside. And they weren't pelted with hot garbage. Basically, the world reeked, but I couldn't do a thing. I was just 5 years old. Here's a picture. I was adorable. But I could do nothing to make the world a better place. So instead, I ate as much Play-Doh as possible. The point is, 1969 was a long time ago, 49 years ago. And you'd have to go back that far to find jobless numbers that are this good today. It's true. Applications for unemployment benefits are now at a 49-year low. That's almost 5 decades long, or what I call one episode of The View. So, all right, easy joke. So, Trump's job numbers are so good, to match it, you'd have to go back to an era when not bathing was considered an achievement. That's what we call good news. And humans like good news, but not all humans.
He just tweeted their meeting in Singapore on June 12th, and we'll both try to make a very special moment for world peace.
Well, you know, good for him. If it works, we're happy for him.
You could just feel Joy's pain when she said that. It's like she realized that wasn't a fart. But there are a lot of humans that don't like good news. They're called wet blankets.
Their release should not be exalted. It should be expected. It is no great accomplishment of Kim Jong-un to do this. And when the president does it, he weakens American foreign policy and puts Americans at risk around the world.
Talk about the opposite of fun. To him, the glass is half empty, much like his skull. So, here we have great news, but many politicians and media hacks, all they see is bad. If only there were a drug to help them.
Unemployment has hit 3.9%. That's good news for the American worker. Coalition forces are set to deliver a fatal blow to ISIS. This is not good.
You should talk to your doctor. You may be suffering from WBS.
What's that?
WBS stands for wet blanket syndrome. When anything good happens, you see it as bad news. News anchors get it all the time.
3 Americans held hostage in North Korea are on their way home right now.
Am I going to die, Doc?
There's no cure for WBS, but thanks to Holodex, you can live with it.
Holodex tricks your brain into thinking every day is the day before a 3-day weekend, making it virtually impossible for you to be nothing but happy all the time.
Unemployment is at its lowest in 17 years, and President Trump deserves the credit.
And we're clear.
Ah, that week went fast. Time for 3 days of fun in the sun. Here comes the beach.
Dude, it's only Wednesday.
Almost had me, Kevin. You're a laugh riot. Thanks, Holodex.
Dude, what the is that guy on?
So get Holodex today. Your coworkers won't get it, but we do.
Every day is the day before a 3-day weekend. That is some really surreal. Okay, back to the real good news. It wasn't just a human victory, but a ratings one, too.
It's very early in the morning. I think you probably broke the all-time in history television rating for 3 o'clock in the morning, that I would say.
Of course. Don't you love that he did this at 3 a.m.? Could have been any other time, but he chose then. Why? To tell you that he's always up. He's always up for us at every hour. And if you had Hillary instead, she'd already be out like a broken headlight. Speaking of Hillary, if she were president and had a week like Trump's, how might the press react? But instead, with Trump, you get this. Which is why he had to blow his own horn on Thursday.
We are rocking. We are rocking. Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un. Sleeping Joe. We have great health care plans coming out. They weren't saying Merry Christmas. Now they're saying Merry Christmas again. America is respected again. I have delivered more than I promised. I go bum 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 ba 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 ba.
Oh my God. So is he gloating? Who cares? He should gloat. The rallies are where you get the good news that the media often ignores. It's Trump news, and he's the anchor. Of course, what were the other news buckets full of?
So the lawyer for Stormy Daniels is stepping up his attacks.
I almost forgot about what I was going to talk about, but of course I didn't.
Yeah.
Michael Cohen.
It doesn't seem like he was very good at it. I mean, the money to Stormy Daniels, the porn star, didn't work, didn't silence her.
It certainly is not illegal from what we know, but it looks bad. It has the stench of the swamp, and that stench affects both Trump and Cohen.
Man, these networks are so obsessed with porn, they should be sponsored by Kleenex. Now imagine America as the world's greatest all-inclusive resort with water slides and pool bars and casinos. And where's the media? They're hiding in the hotel room watching TV, and it's stuck on The View. It's weird. It's like the media can't see themselves or even the outside world. It's as if they're trapped, living in some gigantic footprint left by King Kong. Except it's not Kong's footprint at all. It's Trump's. After he stomped on them in 2016. And so they've all fallen in and they can't get up. I fear that if someone doesn't throw them a rope ladder, they're going to end up eating each other alive. Which sucks. I hate cannibals. They're so full of themselves. All right. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's so bright, fireflies try to catch her and put her in the jar. Author and TV host Jedediah Bila. He's tackled more roles than Michael Moore's masseuse. Thank you, actor Daniel Roebuck. She's brassy, sassy, and her gaze a little glassy. National Review reporter Kat Tippett. And he keeps his pants up with an asteroid belt. Former WWE superstar, massive sidekick Tyrus. All right.
Guess it was just my turn, huh?
Jedediah.
Yes.
all this chaos going around, and he's still getting stuff done. How is this possible?
Yeah, because he's actually, I mean, this is what people elected him to do, right? I mean, he was saying some crazy stuff, and everyone acknowledged he had this crazy past, but we were like, we want a guy. I didn't vote for him. I voted for Rand Paul. But still, most people were like, we want a guy that's going to get the job done. And that's what he's doing. And it's hysterical when you watch these videos, because I think the media is so invested in his demise. They have decided that, you know, they went on record and said this guy's going to be a big failure. He's going to be a big joke. He's a reality TV star.
Yeah.
So when he does well, they look dumb. They look like, well, they weren't paying attention. Their predictions are wrong. So they're invested in him failing, and they don't care that may mean that the American people actually suffer, that your paychecks will be lower, that our national security might be threatened. So it's fascinating to watch because, you know, specifically with the prisoners that were brought back, that was a story that everyone across the aisle, you know, both sides of the aisle had to come forward and acknowledge this was a good thing he did. But you watch them and they're suffering. They're suffering to say it. And it's so transparent that it lets everybody know that everyone who's been saying the media is biased, they tell you, they show you right in their own face.
It's hard for them. I feel bad. Do you want to see my impression of voting for Rand Paul?
Listen, I still voted.
Yeah.
I still voted, and I give him credit where credit's due. This guy's doing a lot of really good things. This was a great week for him, and I mean, I'm really proud to have him as my president this week, and I'll say that anytime he does something good. So.
All right. Roebuck, what are your thoughts on this week and overall anything?
I thought this was a fantastic week to celebrate being an American. There's a lot of people who talk about how horrible it is to be an American, and I always think, really?
Yeah.
Like we're not the ones holding anyone prisoner.
Yeah.
Like no one's being held against. I mean, criminals are being held. We hold them prisoner, and we're all for that, I think.
Yes.
You know? But you know, disagreeing with the government, we generally let you walk around and we give you TV shows and we make you famous. So this is a great week for everyone who doesn't disagree with the government, who does agree with the government. I'm happy to be an American, just like Jedediah.
Kat, in the green room, you said if you could vote for Trump 18 times, you would.
I voted for Gary Johnson.
I know you did.
You didn't throw something on when she said that.
No, it's all breakable. It's all breakable.
If I throw something here, it's all going to break.
She's a permanent guest on the show, so she gets treated with respect. I see.
Sometimes. No, but again, credit where credit's due, and it shouldn't be hard to be happy that prisoners are back in the United States from North Korea. It shouldn't be difficult to be excited about that. And obviously, President Trump deserves credit. I know because I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's true.
I tried.
Yeah, you did. You did try to free prisoners.
I tried, but they never replied to my emails. I said please. I used like the really cute emojis, and for some reason they stayed there. And you get President Trump in there, and you got to give him credit for doing it. And you know, but people focused all week on saying the world's going to end because we're not we're not in the Iran deal anymore. We're out of it. And I've noticed that they said the world was going to end when he called Kim Jong-un Little Rocket Man.
Yeah.
They said the world was going to end when he got elected in the first place. And I keep waking up in the morning.
Yes.
And everything's fine.
Yes.
So I kind of feel like maybe it's not.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I do sense a pattern. He creates chaos, and from chaos comes solutions. I do predict, though, tomorrow you will get a lot of letters from inmates.
Even more.
Even more than usual. Even more than usual. Do you think Donald Trump's past of dealing with unseemly people and real estate and stuff and the mob and everything helped him?
Yeah, because wasn't he dealing with a criminal tyrant?
Yes.
In Kim Jong-un?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a wolf, you know, because shepherds don't get it done. But I think it's the North Korea thing is such a big thing, and it's so hard for the other side, and they're looking for anything. Did you, when they finally when they talked about where the place was going to be at, where the meeting was going to be at?
Right.
They're like Singapore, and they're like, I think Don Lemon said Singapore loosely translated is Asian Russia. Like they literally were trying anything You know, isn't that some of the Kremlin's favorite vacation spot? Like they're trying anything
to link
just to ruin something. Like Singapore, horrible hotels there. Can't believe he picked that place.
Yes.
You know, they just really are. They just can't give it to him. But I understand why, because Donald Trump is that guy that we all went to school with, that like had the nice car, had the prettiest girlfriend, and then whenever he gets a straight A or whatever, and he tells, hey, I aced that. You know what, man? I hate this dude because he's always winning. And I feel like that's where CNN's right now. Every time he does something, they're like, come on, just.
Even just the coverage, though, like Stormy Daniels. I mean, this stuff's on 24/7. The job stuff, you can't even find it. Yeah. You got to search for that. It's Trump's rally.
This is one case where I'm actually tired of seeing a porn star.
Really?
All right. Coming, I know, hard to believe.
This week, First Lady Melania Trump unveiled her Be Best children's anti-bullying campaign, a great initiative.
I feel strongly that as adults, we can and should be best at educating our children. Today, I'm very excited to announce Be Best.
But she was attacked immediately by the media.
There are a lot of realities that she's dealing with. This is a first lady who is not culturally American, but she is learning the ways.
Then New York Times reporter Glenn Thrush criticizing her grammar, tweeting, for non-English speakers, preferably those from Eastern Europe, is be best an idiom in your language? And the far-left haters on Twitter mocking her accent. Here to react, video bloggers and Trump supporters Diamond and Silk. Ladies, always good to have you back, but I mean, aren't Republicans, they're supposed to be the ignorant, dumb ones that are criticizing the accents of immigrants, not the enlightened cultural elites in the mainstream media, right?
But you see, the Democrats are the ones doing it, like the April Ryan. She probably only know how to speak one language compared to our First Lady that know how to speak 5 languages. You know, I really wish that they would lay off of this First Lady. She's doing a phenomenal job. And just leave her alone. She's doing a great job. And for them to demean her and disparage her is saddening to me. It's very sad. If the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't have done this here kind of thing to Michelle Obama.
That's right. They're really letting the hate show. It's really showing, and it's a shame.
Yeah, you mean the high heel was on the other foot. Don't forget. Those stilettos are pretty tall. Also, Michelle Obama, former First Lady, saying she's very concerned about women in America. Let's listen.
In light of this last election, I'm concerned about us as women and how we think. If we're not comfortable with the notion that a woman could be our president compared to what? You know, we have to have that conversation with ourselves as women.
I think Kanye needs to get to the First Lady there because it doesn't sound like she's a free thinker. Aren't women allowed to vote Republican and Democrat however they want?
We are allowed. You know, with all due respect, Michelle Obama, we don't need her lecturing us about who we should and should not vote for. And what she needs to do is maybe ask the question. Maybe she's feeling guilty about the fact that she didn't vote for Hillary Clinton back in when they were running back in 2007. Maybe that's what she's feeling guilty about. And why does she keep talking about Hillary Clinton? Was Hillary Clinton supposed to be given a kickback, paddywhack, give a dog a bone by somebody? And Hillary Clinton can run tomorrow. We still won't vote for her, even if she tried to lure us in with hot sauce. Absolutely not.
That's a great point. You know, if she's supposed to be pro-women, she should have voted against her husband in the Democratic primary in 2008 and voted for Hillary. Okay. Lastly, we have Maxine Waters going nuts on the House floor with Congressman Mike Kelly tried to make a point. Maxine wasn't having it.
We are trying to make sure that we're making America great every day in every way. And the best way to do that is to stop talking about discrimination and start talking about the nation. We're coming together as a people in spite of what you say.
I resent that, and I resent the remark about making America great again. He's down here making a speech for this dishonorable president of the United States of America. Having said that, I reserve the balance of my time, and no, I do not yield not 1 second to you. Not 1 second. Not 1 second to you.
Wow. Mad Maxine getting a little feisty on the floor there, ladies.
Yeah. Let me tell you what's wrong with Maxine and these Democrats.
Tell
They're upset because they dropped the ball on the American people by ignoring us and giving us enough to keep us quiet, but not enough to make a difference. So a businessman come along named Donald Trump and pick up that same ball, and now he scored a touchdown by giving us tax cuts and more money in our pocket.
That's right.
What Maxine Waters need to know is that Republicans believe in going to work and working. Maybe she need to switch her party to Republican so she can get to work.
That's right, because we know that they call her the poverty pimp. That's because she live in a mansion while the district she represent live in poverty.
All right. There they are, the ladies' Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Tour underway. Go to diamondandsilk.com to find out more. Thank you guys very much.